Okay, good afternoon. Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Please, if you can hear me, can you just maybe use any of the icons, probably anyone, just for me to know that you can hear me. Or if you can unmute and probably just say yes, you can do that. Okay. Mm. Hi, Tony. Can anyone else hear me? We've actually reset so much time now. Okay. Helen, can you hear me? Because you were saying the network is bad. Can you hear me? Is it my network or yours, please? Can you hear me clearly? All right. I just saw your message in the group and I just want to confirm. Okay. All right. My name is Abigail, and okay, please, I'll be muting your mics just so that we can hear ourselves and so it doesn't echo. So my name is Abigail. I'm UK. I'm a product designer. And it's a privilege to be one of the facilitators for this amazing, idea initiative by PowerHER Tech and JEEF Africa. So, without wasting so much of our time, let's just dive into the business of the day. So, today we'll be looking at what UI UX design is all about. It might not really be something new to you. You might have heard UI UX design before now, or you may not have heard about it. Probably this might be your first time hearing about UI UX. But notwithstanding, whether you know or you've heard about it before or you're just getting to, hear it for the first time, what you know before, it's not different from what I'm about to tell you. Instead, I'm actually going to help make you understand it better and also help you know the pros and cons of what UI UX design is all about in general. And also, even if you would want to, pick up that skill, if you want to dive into that career, you would know that, okay, this is actually what I'm really, really going in for. So you don't get confused at the end of the day because, like they always say, as it keeps going, it gets tougher on the way, right? So, I'll be presenting my slides and then we'll get started. So first thing we'll be looking at is what UI UX is all about, right? So UI UX design is just a shortcut for user interface and user experience design, right? So in case if maybe you keep hearing people say UI UX, UI UX, UI UX is just a shortcut, like because you coming to say user interface, user experience, it's more like a very long word, and that's why it's been shortened to UI and then UX, right? So, what does your UI design really, really entails? So let's assume, let's take a building for instance, right? And please, if you can't hear me, just use the comment. Sorry, the icons or the comment section. I just want this class to be as interactive as possible, and so I don't get to do the talking alone. And probably, in case if you're lost or at some point you can't hear me too well to call my attention to it, please. And just for clarification, I assumed that people at the on-site place they are viewing this, they are projecting it. So just give me some seconds. Let me confirm that before we continue. Okay, they said we can continue now. So let's get started. Sorry about the short break. So yeah, like I was saying, UI is short word for user interface. design, and UX is the short word for user experience design. So, what does these two words, what does really entail in design? And I believe we already know what design is all about. And that's the reason why I didn't get to, start from explaining what is design, because we, in one way or the other in our life, almost every day we interact with, designs. Um, for instance, the clothes you're wearing, the clothes you're putting on at the moment is actually made by a designer. This application, this software we are using at the moment, that's Google Meet, it's actually designed by some set of persons and it's owned by Google. The classroom I can see, it's actually someone that designed the chairs, So design is just a piece of art that we interact with almost every day. But then, in as much as how large design is, we are going to focus on user experience and user interface design. So we have graphics design, we have creative design, we have presentation design. Now these are softwares, or should I say digital skills, digital kind of design. Yes, unlike the classroom, those ones are physical things we could touch and interact with. But when you want to talk about digital design skills, right, we have graphics, we have UI UX, we have presentation design, creative and branding design, we have branding and all of that. So back to UI UX design. UI, it entails or it focuses on the look and the layout of a product. Let's say, for instance, the Google Meet we are using at the moment, or let me say the Telegram app. If you notice, you'd see that the Telegram app have sections, right? The left panel, it's where you actually get to see the people you've interacted with over time, your messages. When you have a new message pop up, you see it there. Then by the right hand side, it's a little bit, the canvas is much bigger because that's where you get to type or probably watch videos. That's just the larger part of the screen where you get to interact with the person at the other side of the screen that you're talking to. So, the look of that application, like the look of Telegram, it's actually the UI of the product, right? It's the UI of Telegram. So, a UI designer actually sat down to, excuse me, a UI designer actually sat down to, okay, make research, think, brainstorm, come up with ideas on how am I going to make this application work. Okay, so imagine if it's the other way around. Imagine if the larger part of our screens, if you're using a laptop, sorry, I'm actually saying this from laptop and desktop point of view. If you're viewing your Telegram application, for instance, on a desktop, the larger part is where you interact, with the person you're chatting with, like I said before. Now, imagine if this whole thing is the other way around, where the smaller side is where you view your messages, and the larger side is um, where you see the names of people you've chatted, like your chat history. It's actually going to be a very weird experience, and that's where UX comes in. So UI UX is like a twin. They are not, like, they are inseparable. You can't do without the other. You can't have, if you do without one, then the product is not very good. If you say, okay, let me have an amazing UI and a very poor UX, then your product is not complete. It's actually faulty. Let's take, for instance, let me use a building, for example. We have the civil engineers and then we have the architecture, right? The architectural guys. And the architectural guys sit down, maybe they visit a plot of land and they get to measure the land, they check the layouts, they come up with structures or designs where these things should be. And they decide, okay, we should have a door, or we should have a gate, or we should have the bedroom situated aside. All of those mappings and all of that, see the architectural person as the UX designer. So the UX designer are the ones that they kind of work on the skeleton of the designs. You might not see the experience because sometimes we don't get to see experience with our eyes, but when you interact with a product, you are actually interacting with the experience, and That's where you also get to, say, okay, this experience is bad, this UX is bad, or this product. Sometimes you try using some applications for the first time and you just get lost, right? You get confused. What am I supposed to do? Where do I go from here? Should I click this or not? So that kind of product is a bad UX. It has a bad UX, it's bad user experience. Okay, so when the architectural person, when he's done laying out the whole mapping, the designs, what it should look like, then the civil engineer comes up to build on those things, right? So the civil engineer gets to work with the layout structure that the architectural person has already given. So the civil engineer doesn't wake up to put the door the other way, give like something else um, on the architectural design. So this is just a practical example of what UI UX is kind of what it looks like. It's just if they have a similar roles, if I would use that word. So then back to our slides, we say UI focuses on the look and the layout of a product. It also involves designing buttons, icons, spacing, typography, colors. You can see my slide. I have blue, I have white, then I have another shade of blue, I have a light orange. So all of these things are what a UI person, you know, focus on. They try to make a product look appeasing in the eyes. They try to make sure that, oh, this product is good. You might be scrolling through maybe Facebook, for instance, or TikTok, and you might see a product ad. Looking at the way the mobile app looks, you might want to try it out because of the look is actually inviting. Like from the first glance at the product, you say, okay, let me just try what this is all about. Then, so a UI designer is in charge of or handles the spacing, the typography. What kind of text should I use? Imagine if this what is UI UX is very small. You know, the people read it will really get to see what I'm actually projecting. So typography, the choice of text, the size, the weight, and all of that are all the roles of, they are the things that a UI designer deals with. Then we have the UX designer. Now, remember I said that UX is the experience, right? So a UX designer focuses on the overall feel. Like I said, we don't get to see it the way we see colors, the way we see text, the way we see typography. We don't get to see those things. So UX is just all about the feeling. And that's why we have empathy, right? So UX is all about the feeling. How does the user feel when interacting with the product? And how do you get to know how you should make a product worth it? We have research. There's no way I can get to know you if I don't come and meet you to ask you, okay, can I know you? Can I meet you? What's your name? Where are you from? What are your favorite colors? And all of that. So what am I doing at that point? I'm trying to make a research. I'm carrying out a research about you. So however way or whatever means I use to know who you are, it's research. Interview is when I come meet you and I ask you, please, can I meet you? Can I know you? What's your name? Where are you from? What's your favorite colors? Where do you school and all of that? So that's research. So we have different kinds of research actually. And then when you're done with your research, you have user journeys where you ensure that from the starting point to the end of um, what what you want your user to achieve on the product. That if the whole process is enjoyable and is seamless. Let's say, for instance, our TikTok app. You go on TikTok because you want to maybe see videos, post yours, watch reels, and all of that. So a UX person, while working on TikTok app, for instance, they draft out a user journey. They started from when the user downloads or installs the app to their phone to when they sign up, to when they create their account, to when they post their first video, if that's the necessary thing, to where they get to view, follow, like, share, and all of that. So all of these processes is what we call the user journey. And if the user journey is faulty, then it's actually going to affect your users. And these are what actually happens when you get to see applications or other software products that their users get confused. They don't really know where or what to do. I'm supposed to, for instance, share my email, but I can't see the share button, I can't see email. So all of these things are put together. It's what we call UI UX. And that's why I said UI UX design is together the UI and the UX work to create intuitive, engaging, and user-friendly digital products. So you can't be a UI person starting alone without doing UX, right? So all of these things together is what makes someone a UI UX person, UI UX designer. So I don't know if we have any questions so far. Any questions before we continue? And first of all, I would like to know if you can hear me too. Any question? Any questions so far? Okay, even if you don't have a question, can you use the icons? Let me know we're all following and you can hear me. I'm waiting for an interaction from you. Okay, Chisom, thank you. I'm waiting for one more, then we proceed. Can I get the likes? One more person, please. Or is it only Chisom that's been following us all the while? Okay, let's continue because time is not on our side. So then, what are the importance of, UI UX? Is it really important in the product? Um, okay, thank you. I just saw your message. So, what are the importance of UI UX? Is it even important? Why do we need UI UX in our lives, or why do we need UI UX designers in companies and all of that? Yes, the world is actually going digital, and you don't even need anybody to tell you the world is going digital. We have like it's the way the world is going, it's moving so fast that if you don't hop on the train, trust me, before December, even the way things will change. You'll be wondering if are you even in this world or not? Like, I'm not even talking about AI itself because AI is not something new. It's almost everywhere. And most products are trying very hard to incorporate AI in their products too because they know that if they don't follow the trend, users would wake up one day and stop using their product. So let's say, for instance, our WhatsApp, we have AI in a product like WhatsApp. WhatsApp is more like the very common product we use almost every day. So imagine Meta had to include AI in their products too in WhatsApp. Notwithstanding that people use WhatsApp a lot, like a lot. People use WhatsApp a lot. If it were to be a very lazy founder or CEO, he would say, "Oh, people use my product, so there is no need." But of course, there is a need because if another product wakes up, even if it's exactly how WhatsApp works, but it has an AI in it, people will definitely abandon what they know because people are actually moving with the trend. So UI UX is very, very important, and UI UX is like a trend, so that it's very important. You need to hopping. And so let's look at some importance of UI UX so you don't say it's coming from my mouth, right? We say it's one, UI UX enhances user satisfaction. Like I said before in our previous, sorry, while I was trying to explain what UI UX is all about. I believe why you use WhatsApp is because the experience is amazing. You can do video call. You don't need to look for where video call icon is. You can post on your status. You can update, your friends. Maybe you have a new car. The first thing that will come to your mind is, oh, let me just put it on WhatsApp because you want. So the experience in on WhatsApp, it's amazing, and that's the reason why people are loyal to WhatsApp. Like it is very rare for you to see someone that's not on WhatsApp. So an amazing UI UX experience actually leads to satisfaction and loyalty. Definitely, people will be loyal to your product, right, or to the product. Then it also increases accessibility. Digital products are accessible to a broader audience, like including, okay, for instance, Meta don't know who the people that uses WhatsApp, because I believe there are people who are disabled, or probably maybe they have one physical disabilities or the other. They use WhatsApp. So as a UI UX person to be, or you're one, it's very important that if you're building a product, you need to consider making it accessible. Like let every kind of person be able to use it. Do you understand? So it increases accessibility. If your product is very good, then you won't have limitations. Every kind of person can use UI UX. Do you understand? Okay, so moving forward, we say that it drives engagement, right? Why I'm still using WhatsApp, why I'm still focusing on using WhatsApp as an example in this class is because it's something you and I, we use. So imagine the engagement on WhatsApp. Imagine waking up, for instance, and you're telling people to, maybe for any time you want to um, share information, you have to text it to each and every one of your audience, one after the other. You definitely get tired, because even with bulk SMS, that interaction is not there where you get to post and somebody gets to reply your comments or highlight it. You can share. So the engagement is quite a lot, and trust me, Meta is actually making tons of millions of naira from the engagement that WhatsApp is driving. So it also boosts brand image. Like I'm sure we all know what Meta is. Even a little child that uses WhatsApp definitely knows, oh, this is Meta. So it boosts. For instance, Facebook, Google. These are brands that has amazing UX, and that's the reason why they still survive the test of time till today. Okay, any questions before we move to the next slide? Okay, so what are the financial advantages of UI UX? Do we just, create good or great UI UX because we just want to do it? Is there really any financial advantage? There is a lot of financial advantages, and that's the reason why lots of companies or organizations are hopping, or they need UI UX designers because they are going to lose out tons of money. Imagine, for instance, Facebook owner, that Mark Zuckerberg, Meta boss, right? Imagine if he's not making money from all of this product. Some time ago, we heard about uh, I forgot the name of this application that you can trade. Yeah, trade is, it's not different from um, Twitter, that's now X. But because of the financial advantages, he tried to recreate something like that so that people would do what? Use his own. And he, as much, I don't know if you've used Thread before, but the UX is it's not bad. Now, these are people, or these are organizations that understand that if you have a good product, or UI UX design tends to, you know, help in finance. So it increases conversion rate. Somebody uses your app for the first time, they would want to come back for it. And who are the people that make people want to come back? They are the UI UX designers. So it increases conversion rate, higher customer retention. You and I are loyal users of WhatsApp. Yes, you and I are one. So the higher customer retention, we are there. It keeps us every day. In fact, most times you just touch your phone to view status, people's status. Not like you have a message or you have anything to do there. So yeah, higher customer retention. It reduces development costs. Now, this is one other very important thing. Way back, maybe 19th century or 16th century, and the rest of that, where people just build products without the UI or the UX. Now, this is where developers just, companies or product owners reach out to developers. I need this. I want users to go here. I want users to do this. I want people to do this and that. And at the end of the day, when the developer is done and it's being presented to the product owner, I will say, no, this doesn't look like it. So UI UX help to break down development cost because when you're done with the UI, you are seeing it, you are using it. We have prototype where you get to, you know, at least test to know the experience, what it looks like. When the product owner is satisfied with what he or she have that has been done by the UI UX person, then it moves to the development phase, and that's where we have the dev handover. So in this case, you hand over the product to the development, more like the architect person handing over the design to the architectural design to the civil engineers after discussing with the house owner, and he's satisfied that yes, I like where the room is. No, I don't want my kitchen to be small. I want my kitchen to be big. No, can you move the sitting room to this part? When all of these changes are being done and there's satisfaction, they hand over to the civil engineers. They use what they are seeing and implement and build. The same way software developers look at designs, they are seeing it and they're implementing what they can see. So it actually helps reduce development costs. Um, Further improve ROI. So companies that prioritize their UX design sees significant return of investment because everybody likes to imagine if you have a friend who in the morning calls you, check up on you, in the afternoon checks up on you genuinely, now not because maybe the person wants to get something in return. Everybody likes to be heard, everybody likes to be loved, everybody wants to be you know seen as a very important person. So UX is just one way of telling your users that you're very important to me, and therefore I'm going to ensure that I build a product that is very, very easy for you to use. So when people say that, oh, this product have me in mind, oh, so I can do this here, it makes people want to keep using that product over and over again. And in that case, it connects the return, the income that is coming back, the money that the company is actually going to make it quite a lot. So yes, and that's the reason why. And that moves us to the next slide, which is this the demand. Already organization knows that UI UX is very, very important. Like if I have good UX, I'll make money. Yes. Though there are still other things like marketing, get to let people know that you have this product existing. Yes. But what about telling people that you have a product and when they now come, it's looking weird? Or imagine paying large amount of money to put a very giant billboard on the road. We are selling cars, for example, luxury cars, and people look at it, oh, amazing marketing, and then they now come to your store and discover that where your shop is actually in an abandoned location. Everywhere is there are grass, the compound is unkept and lots of that. Even if you have Rolls Royce or one of the expensive cars there, trust me, nobody would even want to come in. So that's just it. In as much as marketing is very good, the product too is very, very much more important because even if you don't market, people would one day, oh, just say it, I want to try it. So it's very, very important. And because companies, organizations, product owners, those startups, they know that, oh, UX is very important. That's the reason why the industry demand for UI UX designers is very high. Like it is very high. The job market trend is large. And one beautiful thing about UI UX is that you can be in your house and work remotely. You can be working with organizations that are not in Nigeria. You can get international roles, you can earn in dollars, you can earn in euros, you can earn in pounds, you can be in your house, on your desk, your workspace, and do it. Work from anywhere. Currently, I work remotely in the house. Like, I barely go out because okay, maybe if you're my neighbor, you might think, oh, this person is jobless. I'm not jobless, actually. I work from the comfort of my home. I work remotely, and then I do my meetings and all of that. Like, for instance, this class we are having right now, I'm not there. We are all here and we are gaining knowledge, we are learning. So, the most important thing is you're doing your job. So, the job market, yeah. And like I said, the trend is going high and high and high. So, I'm I don't think, and I'm not seeing the world waking up tomorrow to say we don't need UI UX designers. Like, it's not possible. Because even with the AIs, AI are AIs. Depends on the information that they've been given on how they are trained. They still can't take the position of humans. So in the 25th century, if Jesus tarries, UI UX is still going to be trending in the market. So, money, are you going to make money? Or yes, of course. You know how dollar rate is in Nigeria. So imagine if you have a job, maybe US, Canada, or anywhere, dollar paying companies, and you're earning like $1,000 a month, for instance. Meanwhile, your annual income could be $120,000, $70,000, and much more. So imagine if you're earning $2,000 monthly from your home. Um, if you convert that to there, I'm sure you know what it looks like. Or you're even working in Nigeria and you're working for an organization where they pay you 400,000, 500, 700, 250, and all of that. So is there body in it? Yes, there is body. So it's actually one of the tech oil money, like some people usually call it. So the high demand, yes, there is very high demand. Like, you can agree with me that there is high demand for designers. There is, like, no matter how small a company, even startups are looking for UI UX persons because they don't want to waste money building products. And at the end of the day, when they reach out to investors and investors sees their product or use it, they'll say, sorry, I can't be a part of this. So there is a very high demand. Yes, there is. There is skill acquisition. You're actually acquiring skills. And with that skills, it's actually going to do what? Fetch your money. So from the chart I have, one is career growth. You're actually growing. There's advancement. There's skill acquisition. You have a skill that you can comfortably do from the comfort of your home. Some organizations, some company would want you to, okay, come to the office to work on site. Some want you to work hybrid. Maybe you get to go to the office twice in a week or once in a week. So might even tell you come to the office twice in a month, maybe during very serious meetings. Some companies would want to relocate you to maybe wherever their office is because they want you to work uh, on site there. And they'll tell you, okay, fine, we'll take care of your relocation fee. So there are a whole lot of designers that have used UI UX design as a job bit, of traveling out. And the company, they pay them very well. They give them accommodation and all of that, right? So as you're working, you're also learning, you're gaining knowledge. And as the day goes by, every day you're trying to learn. So you become better and you won't be able to, just because I know how to do mobile apps, so I should sit down. No, every day you need to learn. And as you're learning, you're growing in your career, there's an advancement in the knowledge, what you know before and what you know now. So, in summary of all of these things, I just want you to know that there is a very high industry demand for UI UX designers. Any questions so far? If you don't have a question, leave a comment or use the icon. Let me know you can hear me. Any question? Okay, somebody should ask the question, please. So I will know that we understand what I've been saying just for now. Do we have any question? People from people that are on site, any question you can drop it in the chat in the comment section here, this chat box. Any question, please? I'm waiting. If you don't have a question, just say no questions. So we'll continue. Hello, are we still on the call? Okay, thank you, Chisom. Miranda, I'm waiting. AGK, can we just say something? Good afternoon. Okay. All right. Thank you so much for that question. And like you rightly said, they are almost the same. Yes, and most persons get confused. What's UI UX and what's web design? Okay. I don't know, Chisom, if you've heard about no code tools. No code tools, like um WordPress, Webflow, Framer. All of these are tools that web designers use. So, how do I explain it? Okay, a web designer, right? Yes, you actually design. So you design software like websites, for example. Web designers cannot develop applications. Okay, they can't build something like Telegram, for instance. A web designer cannot do that. But a UI UX designer can, yes, design the interface and the user experience of Telegram and move it to the developers to implement it. So we have web applications and we have web designs. So web applications are applications that you get to install on whatever device you're using, like okay, web, your laptop, where you don't get to go to www.this to, you know, www.this to use the application. Actually, this call is going to end very soon. So I'm going to create another meeting link and drop it in the WhatsApp group, please. So would join back. I'm actually sorry about that. But then before the call ends, let me just answer this question, then we'll join with the next link. So a web designer, stuff like all these websites you have to, that have www dot, yeah, web designers can do that. Developers too can implement that. Designers can do that too. A designer can design the interface of websites, mobile apps, web apps, um then wearables like your wristwatch design. What, some, I don't know if you, maybe we all have this wristwatch where you can, like for instance, the Apple Watch. You can actually use Apple Watch to access, make your calls, pick calls, videos, like it's linked. So a web designer can't do things like that. And they have no code tools like WordPress where there are templates already existing. So a web designer uses those templates to continue with what they want to do. Maybe design a website, for instance, an e-commerce store or an e-learning website. Like it deals with pages. Trissom, I don't know if you understand. It deals with pages. All right. So do you understand the difference now? All right. So these no code tools, right? The designer or the web designer one have to, buy the hosting, the domain name, then start building with those templates. And once you're done, you do the connections you need to do, use plugins and all of that to work on the website. And then when it's being hosted, people can go to, for instance, www. Um, Facebook.com. Now, Facebook is different because Facebook has an application, and Facebook, for example, is actually done by designers and developers. So, but if you're using a web design, if you're on a website that is being done by a web design, for instance, you just, even if you click on a button, it takes you to another page. Like it keeps taking you to pages, pages, pages. I hope that Joe explains more. Any other question? Thank you, Chisholm, for that question. Any other question from anyone? Any question? Any comments? Any question, please? Please check well. If I have a question, just ask. Okay. All right. You have a question? Okay. All right. Thank you. Okay. So instead of using the WhatsApp group, I'm actually going to paste the next Google Meet link here on the chat. So, but I'll let us know when we'll be using it. We still have like 12 minutes here. So maybe when it's like 5 minutes, then would use the link, the new link in the chat here, not on WhatsApp, and join the next class, please. Okay, HK, you have a question. Can you ask? Jane, isn't me, sorry. You have a question. You can unmute, isn't it? You can unmute your mic. Yeah, I can. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. You're welcome. Yes, ma'am. There is a tool, and we actually have a practical, a little hands-on. Yes, so yes, there is a tool, ma'am. Please, did that answer your question? Okay, yeah, I said yes, there is a tool you can actually you're referring to tools you can use to build products, right? Yes. Yes. Okay, yes, but there'll be courses and there'll be practicals like hands-on task, and there's a tool you can also use to, practice what you're learning. All right, thank you, ma. Is any other question before we continue? Okay, then the next slide. Let me see if I can wrap up with what we have here, and then once we join, we'll be doing hands-on. I think I don't have enough time. Okay, so next slide, what you will learn, right? When you enroll for this class, you'll be learning user research. Like I said earlier, user research helps you know your users. As a designer, we don't sit down in our house and imagine that, okay, Mr. A would first of all want to post on the status before he wants to chat somebody. Like for instance, people that built WhatsApp, they did research. So user research helps you to learn about your users, the people that you're building that product for. And in the future, as a designer, while you're designing, you need to remember that you are not building for yourself. You're not going to be the one alone, even if you like the product. You're not going to be the one alone that would use that product. So you need to know who your users are, and you can do that through user research. User research helps you understand who your users are, what are their challenges, what are their motivations, what are their frustrations. And your goal as a UI UX person is to ensure that you solve their problem. So see UI UX design as a problem solving tool. You're trying to solve people's frustrations, you're trying to solve their problems, you're trying to make it very easy for them. Like for instance, our Google, for example, Google included image search, and it solves the problem of maybe you're scrolling online and you see a particular bag that you like, and you want to know more about the bag or find out people that are selling that bag within your locality. So you can take a screenshot of the bag, go to Google, use the image search, paste the image on Google. Then Google also have advanced search where you can narrow your search, filter some information to location or store or anything you want, and you do your search, and within few seconds it gives you the information you want, and definitely you're happy. Tomorrow you would recommend Google to somebody, or you might want to use Google again. So user research helps UI UX designer to understand their users. So the next thing you also be learning in the class is wireframing. Wireframings are like the skeletons of what the application is actually going to look like. So if you know how to do your wireframing very well, it will help you uh, during your test phase. It will help you see the errors, improve iterations and all of that. So the next thing is prototyping. Prototyping is more like the final phase of a product where people now get to interact with that product. Then we have visual design, more like the UI. Then we have interaction design, like the motions, the components, all of that. That interaction, maybe when you click on a button, flower pops up. For example, you playing a game and you won. You know that congratulations and that little flowers that pops up. Those are interaction design. Then we have usability testing. uh, in the course, you also learn how to test products. So you don't just build a very weird product and put it out there, and maybe when the company gives it to their audience or their users, and they'll come back and say, "Who did this? This product is bad." So as you're building, you're testing. So all of these information are actually what you're going to learn in the course that will help you become a good UI UX designer. So finally, I know I've been asking any questions before now. Now this is the time for questions. So you're free to shoot your shot. If you have questions, please go ahead and ask. Feel free to ask anything. I'm waiting for questions. Please, people at this people on site, if they have a question, you can use WhatsApp, you can use the chat box here to drop the question. So any questions so far? Okay, Mrs. Zumia, please, you can go ahead and ask your question. Yeah, you can unmute your mic and ask your question. Okay, Chisel, please ask your question while we're waiting for Miss Jane. Sorry, a comment. It's fine. Like I said, we will when I was answering Mrs. Zini's question. Yes. Any other question? Any comment before we continue? Any comment? Okay. Please, can someone confirm from those on site if you have a question? Let's just have a few minutes. Okay, Miss Jane, your hand is still up. I don't know if you have a question. You can go ahead and ask. The floor is open for questioning. All right, let's go to the next page. This is okay, so it's already. And then this is the part you'll be waiting for, right? Like everyone is waiting for her to. So okay, great. So we're recording now. So let's get started. What we have here is an e-commerce, yes, and the tool we are using to do this practical, it's a Figma tool. So Figma is a software that designers use to do different kind of things, wireframe, prototype, user research, and all of that. So when you enroll for the class, you get to understand fully how to use Figma. So I just want you to see that the mobile applications you use, they are actually being done by someone, and that's what we'll be doing today. So for this start, I'll be using a mobile screen, right, or a dimension of 40. Okay, no, let me use the dimension of. So here we have, you can see iPhone 14 Pro and the rest of that. So what Figma does is that when products like when new product comes out like phones, if you're using Figma as a 2020, there was no iPhone 13, 14, 12 there, if I'm not mistaken. So on this part, you don't get to see those iPhones. You only see iPhone 8, you see 8 Plus, and the rest of that. But the more new products are coming out, the more you get to see, they'll keep updating that. So we have our screen. I'm trying to use the exact one here. So let me just say, I think my network is lagging. So please, if you have a question, just unmute and ask because I am not on the Google Meet page, so I will not really get to, see your screen. All right. So if you want to give this curved edge that makes it look like the phone, you can actually do that from here. You see this corner here, and we can make this corner radius of 25. But first things first, because we are still building, I'm going to leave that when we are done, we can do that. So before we dive into this, can somebody give me a name? What name should we call our e-commerce store? Please, somebody give